taking so long. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Shifting gears. A presentation by Aiden Walter, Jesse Rubio, Jackson Cook, and Gain Brewitt. All right. Summary of Cars 3, which is the presentation we're doing, is about Lightning McQueen, who is essentially the LeBron James of the racing world in this world of cars, living planes, living automobiles. Now, he's been doing this for a long time, but he's starting to see a lot of new faces that are just, kind of kicking his butt. And he pushes himself too far in a race and ends up crashing and having to find himself in a new life, new form. And as he tries to get back to racing, he discovers that there's more to sports than just sports. There's kind of psychology to it, and he learns and grows from this and mentors his trainer in a way named Cruz. And that's where this story takes place.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our presentation on Cars 3. So we all collectively decided that one of the themes shown in this movie was leadership. And we get to see that by watching Lightning McQueen's transition as an awesome and dominant racer into a mentor of the new character, Cruz Ramirez. We see that Lightning McQueen learns valuable lessons from Cruz, who is a young and talented racer of the new generation. This relationship highlights an essential theme: growth through mentorship. Rather than solely focusing on beating the next generation of racer, Lightning McQueen takes leadership and takes on a mentorship role for Cruz Ramirez. Um, a pivotal moment in the film that we get to see this transition from racer to mentor is when Lightning McQueen gives up his last opportunity to win a big race at the end of the film. Despite his competitive instincts urging him to finish strong, he makes a selfless decision to let Cruz race instead for him. This acts not only as just a selflessness, but it gives Cruz confidence in her ability to be able to perform a race. Show the clip. Some leadership strategies that we all decided were shown in the film were mentorship and guidance, as you just saw in that clip. And we see some more instances of that between McQueen and Cruz on the beach scene, where he shows her how to drive as a real racer on the beach. We see diversity and inclusion, again, him teaching the next generation. And then we also see teamwork and collaboration. We mainly see this at the end where McQueen starts the race, but Cruz finishes the race and they both end up winning it, which is a pretty cool moment to see.
Awesome. So another big thing that we saw in this movie was communication. And this is a very big psych theme. Now, between McQueen and Cruz at the beginning of the film, they essentially live in different worlds, right? They have no idea how to communicate to each other, no idea how to share ideas with each other, and really they're just very, very out of touch. And this is just because they don't have any shared experiences. However, as we see them go through the movie, and they spend a lot of time together, they do some crazy stuff at the uh, Thunder Hollow Raceway. They do a lot of stuff on the beach with training, and they go through a whole lot together. And this just develops an understanding with each other through these shared experiences. And they're able to find a good form of communication. And then at the end of the movie, McQueen is able to utilize correct timing to motivate Cruz through the verbs that he uses. And as like the timing is a really big piece as well. And we can see that in this clip. So in this clip, we can see a few different communication strategies, all revolving around verbal messages. And this is just because the communication is happening over radio. There's no real face-to-face interaction, so there's no facial expressions, there's no body language that's real important, which means that voice characteristics are a big part of this. And we see that both with Cruz and Lightning McQueen. Cruz is conveying, nervousness and confusion and just not a whole lot of confidence in her racing at first, right? She's telling him that. And then McQueen, he's trying to almost comfort her and instill confidence so that she's able to race well. And part of the way he does this is by asking questions, kind of. He encourages her to think about the beach, think about Thunder Hollow, think about these past experiences that they had together. And this is mentioned in the textbook. Asking questions transfers the responsibility of learning from the teacher or coach to the student or athlete, just because it encourages them to think on their own and problem solve on their own rather than being told how to do it, which is pretty important in this situation and most others. And then the last thing that he talks about is focus on one thing at a time. We see this very easily in the clip. He's telling her, okay, I want you to relax. Okay, now I want you to look at this. But he's only telling her one thing at a time so that she doesn't get overwhelmed. A very important aspect of communication.
Another thing we noticed through this movie was the themes of adaptability. And we noticed five main ones, which were embrace change, resilience in the face of challenges, learning and growth, flexibility and problem solving, and letting go of ego. And then the key one with letting go of ego was Lightning realized that the times have changed and he was no longer the star of the show. his days of winning all the Piston Cups and the awards were kind of coming to an end because of this new generation of fighters, or not fighters, drivers, and um, he realized over time that he had to change a few things to be able to keep up with the other racers. They were younger, they had better innovations in technology, and a lot of his old methods weren't working as well. So he had to learn and grow from that. And another one we noticed was Cruz Ramirez, who was his mentor at the beginning of the film. And in the final race, Lightning adapts and he allows Cruz to finish for him. And he shifted his focus from himself to Cruz. Um, and then through that, also Cruz helped him by helping him learn new ways to race and adapt to these younger racers. And then I'm going to show a quick video here that goes over one of the scenes where he tries out the new technology, which will be right there. Okay, if you could go back one slide, I wanted to touch on a point. The big theme in Cars 3 is Lightning's reluctance to accept that his prime racing years may be behind him, but however, he learns to adapt by trusting the younger generation. In this case, it was Cruz, and he eventually passes the torch on to her because it's a bit of a redemption story because she started out as a timid racer who was technically his mentor because she knew more about the modern cars and everything along those lines. But in the end, McQueen in his race eventually lets her finish the race for him and he gives his wisdom onto her. So that's what we got through our adaptability portion of this film.
Now we've reached the finish line, and now that we've seen how Lightning McQueen has really embraced these three sports psychology themes, he's really grown to more than just a athlete or a racer. He's really grown as a person too, improving in his communication with the people around him and how he adapts to the situations that his sport has brought him to. And he shows leadership in becoming a mentor and his trainer even. And I think that shows how sports psychology is more than just sports. It's about how we live our life. Thank you for listening. Any questions?